There's a quiet magic in making new plants from old, an alchemy that feels both ancient and deeply personal. Each time a gardener takes a cutting, it's as if they're reaching back through generations, connecting with those who tended the earth long before us. This is an ancient ritual, cherished for centuries, woven into the fabric of human history. Gardens have always been places of memory, where secrets are passed down not just in words, but in the gentle touch of hands and the quiet patience of waiting for roots to grow. Yet, even with all our modern knowledge, we've all faced disappointment, following advice from books or the internet, using rooting hormones and plastic bags, only to find our cuttings lifeless and hope fading. It's easy to feel discouraged, to wonder if we're missing some essential wisdom. But what if there's a method, quietly passed down through generations, that nearly guarantees success in just 4 weeks? Imagine a technique so reliable, it's become a treasured secret among those who truly listen to their plants. This technique, born in the ancient gardens of China, is rooted in patient observation and respect for nature's rhythms, not in laboratories or with synthetic chemicals. It's a practice shaped by centuries of careful watching, learning, and adapting. It uses only simple, natural materials, no fancy equipment, no mysterious powders, just the things you might already have in your garden shed or kitchen. This is gardening at its most honest and accessible. The secret? Working with the plant, not against it. Instead of forcing roots to appear, this method encourages the plant to do what it naturally wants to do: grow, thrive, and multiply. This method invites us to slow down, to see the plant as a living partner rather than a project. It's about patience, observation, and a willingness to learn from the quiet language of leaves and stems. It's about understanding the flow of sap, the needs of a new root, and even the subtle pull of the moon, those ancient forces that have guided gardeners for millennia. Timing, touch, and intuition all play a role. Gardening becomes a gentle collaboration with nature's wisdom, a dance between human hands and the living world. Each cutting is a promise, a hope for new life, and a testament to the gardener's trust in nature's cycles. In the next sections, I'll guide you through each step, from the unique tongue cut that encourages roots to the ingenious walnut shell nursery that cradles new life. These are techniques honed by time and tradition. Together, we'll uncover the natural science behind this method and unlock a secret that will fill your garden with strong, healthy plants that carry the legacy of those who came before us. So let's journey back to the roots of gardening together and rediscover the timeless wisdom that lies in every leaf, every stem, and every hopeful new beginning. Most of us learn to take cuttings by snipping just below a leaf node, dipping the fresh stem in rooting powder, and then covering it with plastic to keep in the moisture. This method is passed down through gardening books, family traditions, and countless online tutorials. It seems simple enough, and sometimes it does work, especially for easy-to-root plants or under perfect conditions. But more often than we'd like to admit, the cutting is left shocked and vulnerable. Suddenly cut off from its parent, it's forced to survive on its own, with no roots to draw water or nutrients. The result? Wilting leaves, drooping stems, and a struggle for survival that many cuttings simply can't win. Some gardeners try air layering by girdling, a technique that involves removing a ring of bark to encourage roots to form. While this can be more successful, it's still a harsh wound for the plant, exposing delicate tissues and causing significant stress. The plant must heal and grow roots at the same time, which isn't always easy. Modern propagation methods can be even more aggressive. We use synthetic rooting hormones to force root growth and seal cuttings inside plastic bags to trap humidity, hoping to create the perfect environment. But these artificial conditions often backfire. Excess humidity inside sealed bags can quickly lead to mold, rot, and disease, turning our hopeful cuttings into a soggy mess. We think we're helping our plants by giving them every advantage, but sometimes our interventions do more harm than good. Instead of thriving, many cuttings fail to root, leaving us frustrated and disappointed. The real problem is that we often impose our own will and expectations rather than paying attention to what the plant truly needs. We try to force nature to fit our schedule instead of working with its rhythms. Ancient wisdom, however, offers a gentler, more intuitive approach. Traditional gardeners observed plants closely, learning to work in harmony with their natural processes. They used simple, natural materials and allowed time for the plant to adjust, rather than rushing the process. Instead of causing trauma, these methods encourage roots to form gradually, with minimal stress to the cutting. The plant is given the chance to heal and grow at its own pace. Rather than relying on artificial environments, a natural, breathable nursery is created, one that supports healthy root development and reduces the risk of disease. By stepping back, observing, and letting the plant guide the process, we end up with stronger, more resilient plants, ones that are better prepared for life in the garden. Sometimes, the old ways don't need to be abandoned. They just need a softer touch, a little patience, and a willingness to listen to what the plant is telling us. The heart of this method is the tongue cut, a simple, effective technique. Select a healthy stem, about pencil thick, from recent growth. Just below a leaf node, make a small, slanted cut upward, about 1/3 through the stem, creating a tongue of wood and bark. The stem stays connected to the parent, so water and nutrients still flow. This reduces shock and keeps the cutting supported. The small wound interrupts sap flow, cooling natural hormones at the cut. The plant senses injury and sends energy to heal, but the open wound encourages root growth instead. It's a gentle nudge, not a forceful push. Compared to severing a cutting, the tongue cut is like setting up a well-stocked base camp. The cutting has everything it needs: water, sugars, and support. All we've done is create the perfect spot for new roots to emerge. After the tongue cut, we skip plastic and compost for something better: a walnut shell. The shell's two halves form a natural, breathable chamber, dark, protective, and just right for roots. Fill the shell with moist peat moss or coir, then enclose the cut stem inside. Tie the shell together with twine, creating a tiny, self-contained nursery. Why walnut? It breathes, unlike plastic, and mimics underground conditions. The shell allows air exchange, preventing rot and fungal growth. Darkness, moisture, and air. Nature's trifecta for root formation. Over weeks, the shell protects new roots from pests and drying out. It's a beautiful use of nature's waste to nurture new life. The walnut shell becomes the perfect cradle for your future plant. Before closing the walnut shell, dust the tongue cut with cinnamon. Cinnamon is a natural fungicide and antibacterial, protecting the wound from infection. It lets the plant focus on rooting, not fighting disease. The second secret is timing. Make your cut during the waning moon. Ancient wisdom suggests the moon's pull affects sap flow. Waning moon draws energy downward, encouraging roots. Whether science or tradition, aligning with the moon's rhythm adds intention to the process. These simple steps, cinnamon and timing, work in harmony with the plant's natural defenses. It's about working with nature, not against it. Let's put it all together in 5 clear steps, blending ancient wisdom with practical gardening know-how. This method has been passed down through generations, cherished for its simplicity and effectiveness. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, these steps will guide you to propagate plants naturally, using materials you likely already have at home. First, gather your materials: a healthy, vigorous plant, a sharp and clean knife, a walnut shell, some peat moss or coconut coir, a pinch of cinnamon, and a length of natural twine. Each of these items plays a unique role in the process, from protecting the cutting to encouraging root growth. Lay them out on your workspace so everything is within easy reach. This technique works best in spring or early summer, when plants are actively growing and full of energy. For those who follow lunar gardening traditions, try to work during the waning moon, which is believed to encourage strong root development. The gentle warmth and longer days of this season help your new roots establish quickly. Next, select a strong, healthy stem, ideally about as thick as a pencil. Look for one that's free of disease or damage. Before you begin, water the parent plant thoroughly. This ensures the stem is well hydrated and less likely to wilt during the process, giving your cutting the best possible start. With your sharp knife, make a careful upward cut just below a leaf node, slicing about 1/3 of the way through the stem. This is called a tongue cut. The leaf node is where roots are most likely to form, so precision here is important. Take your time and make a clean, smooth cut. Dust the fresh wound generously with cinnamon. Cinnamon isn't just a kitchen spice. It's a natural antifungal agent that helps prevent infection and encourages healthy root growth. This simple step can make a big difference in the success of your propagation. Now, moisten your peat moss or coir until it's damp but not dripping. Squeeze out any excess water so it's just lightly moist. Gently tuck the moss into the cut you made, making sure it fills the gap and stays in place. The moss will hold moisture right where new roots need it most. Take 1/2 of your walnut shell and fill it with the moss-packed stem. Carefully close the other half of the shell around it, creating a natural little pod. The walnut shell acts as a protective nursery, shielding the developing roots from harsh sunlight and drying winds. Secure the walnut shell gently but firmly with twine. Wrap it snugly so the shell stays in place, but avoid tying it too tightly. You don't want to damage the stem. The twine will hold everything together while still allowing air and moisture to reach the developing roots. Your miniature nursery is now complete and attached to the parent plant. This clever setup creates the perfect environment for roots to form, protected and nurtured by natural materials. This ancient method is gentle, sustainable, and remarkably effective. It encourages strong, healthy root growth without the need for synthetic chemicals or plastic containers. Over time, you'll see roots begin to emerge from the stem inside the shell. Remember, patience and attentive care are your best tools. Check the shell occasionally to ensure it stays moist, but avoid disturbing it too often. Trust the process. Nature knows what to do. In just a few weeks, you'll discover a new plantlet with a healthy root system, ready to be separated from the parent and planted on its own. This is a rewarding moment for any gardener. Simplicity, observation, and a gentle touch are the keys to success. With these ancient techniques, you can nurture new life in your garden, connecting with traditions that have stood the test of time. This method adapts beautifully for indoor gardeners or winter propagation. For houseplants, take a cutting and make the same tongue cut at the base. Remove lower leaves, leaving a few at the top. Instead of a walnut shell, use a pot or glass jar filled with coarse sand for drainage. Dip the cut end in aloe vera gel, rich in enzymes and hormones, and dust with cinnamon. Insert the cutting into moist sand, burying the tongue cut. Place in bright, indirect light. A clear jar lets you watch roots form. Keep sand moist but not soggy. Ancient wisdom adapted for modern homes. After 3 to 4 weeks, it's time to check your cutting. Gently untie the walnut shell. If you see a web of white roots, it's ready. Cut below the shell to separate your new plant from the parent. Remove the shell and admire the rooted moss. Pot up your new plant in a small pot with good compost, planting the moss and roots together. Water well and keep in a sheltered spot for a week or two. This hardening off helps the plant adjust to its new home. Soon, you'll see new growth, a sign of success. The process is simple, natural, and deeply rewarding. You've created a strong, independent plant through patience and partnership with nature. This is gardening at its most magical. This ancient Chinese method is more than a gardening trick. It's a lesson in patience and harmony with nature. Instead of forcing results, it asks us to slow down and observe. The tongue cut, walnut shell, cinnamon, and moon timing all support the plant's natural life force. Our role is to create the right conditions, not to command nature. This approach fosters healthier plants and a deeper connection to our gardens. Holding a rooted plant, you hold centuries of wisdom and tradition. It's a collaboration, a dance between gardener and plant. We use Earth's materials and rhythms, reminding us we're part of nature's web. Try this method not just for free plants, but for a new way of being in your garden, Let it teach you the power of gentle persuasion. You'll cultivate strong plants and a sense of peace and wonder. That's the true secret of this ancient wisdom.